So I put on eyeliner today and I didn't have a mental breakdown trying to, I don't know, make them match each other. So does that count as peak adulthood?
Honestly, yeah, that is a huge win. Like, if the eyeliner is even kind of straight or symmetrical, I would say you're already winning.
Thank you. So, hey guys, welcome back to Unlicensed and Unbothered, episode 1 of season 2.
My God. Like, I can't believe we're here.
I literally I can't either. I can't believe we made it this far. From
Mm-mm.
literally where we started to now, literally me having to replace my mic after the whole devil sound issue.
Yeah.
Um Nuha's insane
Midterm
amount. Yep,
assignments
that's
around that. Yeah.
yeah. That's what I was gonna say. And
Sorry for interrupting you.
no, literally just having to rack our brains for new topics and like psychoanalyze all your issues on Saturday. But
Mm.
it's been consistent uploads. It's been a lot of hard work. And it's been such a fun ride, and we're here for the long term. So today's episode is about one of those sneaky feelings you don't admit out loud. That everything's fine, but why do I still feel off?
Yeah.
And some other complete opposite, which is when you finally feel like time belongs to you.
It's basically the mental gymnastics of being in your 20s. Are we living in our peak years or just honestly just surviving them?
Yeah, so let's start with the subtle emptiness of I should be happy. So you've got the things you thought you wanted, maybe a degree, a job, a relationship, maybe even friends who actually like you. And yet you wake up like, why do I feel nothing at all?
Yeah, and honestly, that's because achievements, they don't always translate into fulfillment. I feel like psychologists call it the hedoic treadmill. So it's basically when humans adapt to change really fast. You land the internship, the glow lasts maybe days, a week, and then your brain's like, okay, all right, what's next? What's gonna happen next? You know?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And social media, I think, makes it so much worse. You could be in your dream program or job, and 5 minutes on Instagram, someone's got a better one. And
Yeah.
suddenly your win doesn't feel like enough. Like, okay, I just want to add a little, I don't know, anecdote. So I have done a TED talk, right? And I know for a lot of people, especially in like the educational, area, it's a big achievement, right? Like it's like, oh my God, you've done a TED talk, you've spoken about something important. It's like it's a big platform. But I remember when I went to do it, um, I finished it. Everyone was congratulating me. Went completely, it went great. Honestly, I think I got like some best speaker something, but I I didn't feel that sense of pride and achievement that like I was like, oh my God, I've done a TED talk. Like I've gone for an interview, right? And they were
Mhm.
like, when they saw my CV, they were like, that is absolutely amazing. You should, even if you don't get this job, we're still gonna watch your TED talk. I didn't get the job, but um,
They're
I
us. They're us.
yeah. But for me, it was like, okay, what next? I've done this. What else am I going to do? When everyone else was out celebrating, by going out to dinner, getting flowers, getting presents. And I was just like, okay,
What
next
are you?
day, something new.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's when imposter syndrome, sorry, comes in. Studies show. Sorry, I'm gonna go a little like mathy and like scientifically science.
Ew.
Okay, sorry. Uh, I'm so sorry. But studies show around 70% of young adults feel at least once. That's a big percentage, you know?
Mhm.
So it's like you didn't even earn your achievements. You just got lucky or someone made a mistake. So even when you do technically win, your brain convinces you that you did it and you're just being a fraud. And it's annoying, but it happens a lot, sadly.
Yeah, and something like based on Nuhanai, there's like this pressure in your 20s of
Mm-hmm.
it being your peak years. Now, obviously, this happens, throughout your
Yeah.
life, but we're going to say 20s because, we relate to that. But
Yeah.
everyone says that this is when you're supposed to be traveling, building your career, finding love, glowing from within, being
Mm.
wild and crazy and fun all at once. And you know what? No wonder people feel like they're failing even when they're doing completely fine.
Exactly. We are meant. People are like, "Oh, you're 20. Why aren't you going on dates? Why aren't you always partying? Why are you always
Mm.
studying?" And oh, but also you need to be studying. You need to be looking for a job, an internship. And honestly, it creates this obsession with external validation. You don't
Mm.
even know what exactly you want anymore because there's so many people butting into your life and telling you what to do. And you're just ticking boxes because it looks good. You're seeing people do it on like social media and you're like, oh, I should do that, And it's exhausting at times.
Yeah, and that's like a fantastic way to put it. And like, you know what? The wild part is happiness turns into this moving target, I suppose. Like you
Mm.
think once I get the job, I'll be happy. And
Yeah,
then once I move out, then once I find a partner, and then once I make more money. And it's this endless cycle of
it's
constant
always,
want and
it's like
need.
one side, one side, one side. It's
Yeah.
honestly very exhausting. So, a better question that you should be asking is, when was the last time you felt genuinely proud or content without attaching it to a milestone or someone else's approval? Do you want to go first, Tina?
Okay. That's a thinker. When have I been proud? You know what? I'll use this as an example, right? Because a lot of things in my life, it's been like, okay, I've done it. Now what? Right?
Mm.
Like the previous example. But I feel like this podcast, for example, it was a whim, right? It was done on a whim. It was very much like, you know what? My mum has always like spoken about people that like do all these like things on either social media or like, people that are doing so many different things with their life. And I'm like, what am I good at? And I'm like, speaking, giving advice, and just not shutting up.
Mm.
But I was like, okay, you know what? Screw it. We give all this advice for free. We don't know if people take it. Let's publicize it because, there's only so much we know, but we do know something. And if someone else can use that, if someone else can take something from it, then so be it, that's a win for us. So
Yeah.
I think literally just putting our minds to this, being consistent with this, and just being passionate enough that even when we're not getting like a million subscribers and like, a gazillion people watching and listening to us, we still keep going and we don't give up and we're consistent and we work hard. And I've got big dreams for this. Nuha's
Yeah.
got big dreams. We've got these goals that we want to meet and that we are going to meet. And I feel
Yeah.
like that's something that even even if no one likes this, even if there's no milestone that we've achieved, it's still something that I'm genuinely proud of from the bottom of my heart. It's our baby, you know?
It's our baby. This podcast is our baby. We're basically building it
Mm-hmm.
from the lotto. But yeah, um, one of my moments. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I think it was when I got into the uni that I'm in right now. Like everyone around me was celebrating. My parents who were very proud of me. Um, I was proud of me. Um, what's it called? My sister was. She was happy for me, but she was also annoyed that I was leaving because I was her like if you have a sibling, like you hate them, but you also love them. And my cats, I would say they were proud of me too. And I was honestly supposed to feel like I was on top of this world. But I just remember sitting in my room that night thinking, okay, so why don't I feel anything. Like I had worked so hard, volunteering, extra work, just doing everything I can to work for this milestone. But instead of joy, it felt like flat. And I think an issue with it was all like this what was that word? But like so a little backstory. I'm not the only female going to uni in my family, but in my family they're very traditional, which is okay, but
Uh-huh.
my dad and my mom are not. They want me to have an education. They both my parents don't want me to depend on a man, and
Yeah.
they want well, my dad's like, if you want, depend on me, but like, don't do it for another man. And he's like, depend on yourself because that's what the world, it's the best. Sorry, I'm rambling, but I'm also like, I also studied, I'm in a good uni. I'm in a really good uni. So I have this stress that that everything has to be perfect because I have a lot of young female cousins looking up at me. I'm like, if she can do it, I can. So I'm like,
Yeah,
okay,
you're a role model.
yeah, a role model. So I'm like basically doing it for me, but also for them. So every time I get a bad grade, I'm like, fuck. And like it it's kind of hard, but I was still proud of myself and I'm like, but I've done all this stuff just to go to like this uni. What else? But then, you know, I love to doom scroll or read. Like I love a good doom scroll rotting in
Yeah.
bed. So I found myself like scrolling online on TikTok and seeing other people in like better schools than me or having a fancier, better program than me. And I'm like, suddenly my big win of getting into this really tough program, into this really tough school, felt like nothing. It didn't feel enough. But that's when I realized how quickly your brain moves to like the goalpost. It made me question if I was actually chasing what I actually wanted or just what I thought would look good on paper. Because if we're gonna be honest, I didn't really, half of what I'm studying is very confusing. And I don't even need, everyone kind of knows that I'm studying the psychology, but
Yeah.
like, I don't fucking need to know Piaget's, Piaget's, I can't even pronounce the guy's name. What is with the names? Studying psychology, you know they have the most weirdest, longest names. I don't need to know the stages of development. I don't need to know all of this. Like, when I'm sitting down with my client, with my patient, I want to be one on one with them. I
Yeah.
understand like depression and the major ones I need to know, and a little bit of like Freud. Ooh, Freud is a messed up person, but it still wasn't like, why am I here? But then when I got my first good grade and I felt like, wait, I'm actually really proud of, like, I'm happy. Like, I felt so proud of myself because getting that grade in the uni that I'm in for my program is really fucking hard. And when I got it, I just felt pure joy. And I was just very proud of myself because I'm like, working hard, I don't know, but like I just felt really happy for me and I felt very proud of myself. And yeah, it was, does that make sense?
No, it does. And I feel like it literally just like links to what we're going to speak about next, which I feel like is such a great way to put it because we're speaking about like those rare moments when time actually feels like it's yours.
Yeah, it's the opposite of chasing it. It's when you stop comparing yourself to others, you stop running from responsibilities, and you just feel time for what it is. It's not a countdown, it's not a race, it's just slow and peaceful.
Yeah. There's actually some science behind it. Let me impress you. Uh,
Go ahead, go ahead.
so there's science behind why this feels so good. So psychologists talk about flow state, right? So it's essentially when you're completely absorbed in something, I suppose, like cooking or drawing or, maybe even cleaning for some people, time disappears. Not because you're, you know, distracted, but it's because you're so present in what you're currently doing or like what you're doing at that time that
Exactly.
time's just not, you know, relevant then.
Yeah. And that's important because most of our lives, it's built on a timer. School
Mm-hmm.
bells, work schedules, even phone notifications. It teaches you to see time as something you are losing. Even losing family members gives you like an insight of what how time is.
Yeah.
It's not something people can enjoy. It's actually something people tend to dread.
Yeah, which is literally why there's like small, like unstructured moments, I suppose, feel rebellious. Like, for the coffee drinkers, making your coffee slowly, brewing it,
Mhm.
taking time, or going for a walk with no destination. You're just somewhere. You're doing something, you're just walking without anything in your mind, or maybe like reading without checking your phone. I know Nuha and I can really like relate to that. Like checking your phone every 5 minutes, like, oh, what's the time now? But just rather just read, take your time with everything. It's simple, but it's so powerful.
Exactly. And studies on mindfulness backs it all up. So just paying attention to the present, literally noticing your breath, your food, your surroundings, it lowers your stress and makes people feel more satisfied. Like no achievement is required. It feels amazing.
Yeah, and the best part is like those moments, they remind you that happiness doesn't have to be like a certain year that you peaked, like the
Mhm.
best year of your life. It can just be maybe sitting in your room, realizing you don't need to be anywhere at that moment. You don't have to prove anything to anyone. You can just like
Exactly.
be there for yourself.
Exactly. So maybe just maybe the real question is how often, sorry, do you let yourself live without rushing? Like without comparing yourself to others, without turning time into a Scoreboard.
Yeah, so Nuha, I don't think I've really had time to slow down for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose I'll have instances where I procrastinate or just like do nothing all day and
Okay.
kind of be unproductive. But I think
Mm-hmm.
life's just going quickly for me because, in terms of when you asked about like without comparing yourself, I think comparison is a fickle thing, really. It's terrible because
Go.
it's
Okay.
usually for a few people it might encourage you to do better, but for majority of us it's literally just you always feel like you're not enough or you don't have enough or you can't be enough. And even if it's not you comparing yourself, it might be your parents or your friends or, someone else in your life. And I feel like that's something that's so normalized nowadays, comparison, that it just like negatively impacts us even without us knowing. But you know what? What about you? Have you ever had
Honestly, guys,
hmm,
you know me. I'm always procrastinating. Oh, I'm not always procrastinating. I try to finish all my schoolwork before I start
yeah, babe,
procrastinating.
you do a lot less than me.
No, no, because when I start procrastinating, I won't do it for
A
days.
while. Yeah.
Yeah, even months. And it's bad. And I'm always comparing. Growing up in like a Desi household, or even like an Asian household, anyway, like you always get compared to like cousins, or you always compare yourself to like, oh, but my friends are doing well in this class. Why am I not doing well? And then I have to like back up and be like, babes, you have like I have to like I'm not saying that this is an excuse, but to make myself feel better, and I'm like, babes, you have ADD and ADHD, which helps. It's kind of like slows you down, and you get distracted so much, and like doing work is a struggle for you. And then I stopped comparing myself. It's it's taken a lot. I'm still doing that sometimes, but I'm better at it, and it's good. But when is I don't know when time slow down. Let me think for a little bit. Cause I think when I first came back from uni, it was my first summer holiday. Um, I went back home. I still had to do summer courses
Yeah.
because I love torturing myself is amazing. Why not, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Um, Luckily it was all online, so I could do it in the comfort of my actual own bed and like in my own house, and I didn't have to compare myself to others. But obviously, jet lag because there's two different time zones. So I was awake in an abnormal time, like 3 a.m. You know, I couldn't go back to sleep, and I was trying to go back to sleep, and I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. Like, just forget about it. I went, I made coffee because I was trying to stay awake as long as I could. And I made some breakfast for me. And I went to my garden, and my two cats joined me at my garden. And I was just sitting there and just listening to like slow music because music just helps me not think and lets my mind decompress. So I always listen to some music, and I was just staring. And for people who don't know and haven't mentioned this, but my dad loves to garden.
Yeah.
His hobbies, like he loves to garden. It's the time where he decompresses. It's his stress relief. So our garden is not so bad, but it's very like very beautiful because he plants, like the man plants. One time it looked like a freaking forest, but he's like calm down now. I was just sitting there, and I was just reading a book on my phone because I didn't have a Kindle at that time. I now do. I have a Kindle, guys, and I'm so happy.
Yay!
I
But
went
because of who?
because of you, but yeah. But I obviously had some assignments, but I'm like, it's my first month of summer. Just let me fucking breathe, you know? So
Yeah.
I didn't like attend classes for like a week, even though I was supposed to, but it's online. I don't really give a fuck. I was just reading my book, and I didn't notice this, but I saw the sun rising. It was so
Tell them
peaceful.
how many books you've read till now. It's been, I think, about like 3 weeks to a month.
It's been like a month, and I read almost 20 books. I know it's
She would
bad.
have spent money on those 20 books. You are
Yeah,
welcome.
because there are books that I was like avoiding buying because I'm like, they're kind of expensive, and if I want to read this many books, I have to spend this much money. And then I'm like, wait, I can buy a Kindle, and I've already made up in books of what I bought for a Kindle, and I bought my Kindle on sale because
Sorry,
that
wait, pause. It was not just, oh, I can buy a Kindle. It was, oh, maybe I'll finally buy a Kindle after Diva's been telling me for God knows how long because
you
it
and
hurts
that.
her physically to see how much money I spend on it and read the
But
book
the
in a
thing
day.
was, I I my dream, I want to have like a library. That's my dream. But books are expensive, guys.
Really?
And I if I like the book, if I really like the book, I might get a physical copy just to have for my library. And I think that's what I'm gonna do. Because luckily, there are some series that I started. Unfortunately, I bought the book, but I hated them.
Yeah.
I disliked them. I'm like, oh shit. And now I just have one book. So I now need to know how to sell them. But like, back to my little story. Like, I was just there with my cats. My cats are outdoor indoor cats. So like they were with me. They're soft, they're purring. I love them so much and I miss them so much. Just to buy a book, and I had my tea and coffee because I am a coffee drinker, but I also love a good green tea. So
Hmm.
I had both of them in hand. And I was just reading, and I didn't know the time. The only perception of time that I was having was the sun coming out. Because when I went, I was pretty dark, and all of a sudden it was like 7 a.m. and both my parents are awake. My sister is still sleeping. She wakes up at like 2,
Yeah.
12 at okay. My parents were awake and they were looking for me apparently, and I didn't know, and they saw the door opened and they thought there was an intruder. So they were kind of panicking. But then they just saw me reading a book and they're like, "How long have you been here?" And I'm like, "I don't know, since like 3." And they're like, "It's 7 now." And I'm like, "Oh shit." Like, I didn't know.
Oops.
Like, for once, I wasn't chasing an assignment. I wasn't competing with other friends or family. I was just existing with my cats, my book, and my coffee and tea. And honestly, that few hours did more for my peace of mind than any big achievement I have had. I know that sounds bad because your big achievements are like amazing, but
Uh-huh.
sometimes just having the time to yourself when you don't actually do feels good. And like when your mind is not overthinking or constantly thinking, even when you're trying to go to sleep and it's just constantly thinking. I literally have to sleep with either white or brown noise or my favorite ASMR. Please get on it. Please.
Hell
People
no.
hate on me. People hate on me. It's the
People
specific,
is me. Me is people.
yeah, there's specific ASMRs that you have to watch because my mind is always thinking and doing something. It's never peaceful. Even now, as I'm speaking to you, my mind is actually telling me I'm that person. Before a big thing, I will come up with what I'm gonna say in different scenarios because I don't know, I just do it.
Mm-hmm.
But my mind doesn't let me not do it because if I don't do it, I I'll just have the worst day of my life. So for my peace of mind, I just do it because if not, everything goes wrong for me. I'm a person who always needs to plan and stuff, and I need to have a schedule. I need to plan. If not, I will have a really shitty day, and that just fucks me up a lot. So that few hours of just not doing anything felt
Great.
felt amazing,
You
honestly.
know, like I feel like something you said literally links because we've got like a few, lessons for you guys. Um, but lesson one is literally the fact that achievements don't guarantee happiness, especially if you're always chasing the next one. And I feel like Nuha can relate to that. So can I, but like she literally she mentioned it earlier and I felt like it just like linked quite well to this.
And lesson number 2, sometimes the best things you can do is honestly slow down and let time feel like it's not yours. No, sorry, it feels like it's yours, not something you're losing. Like if you need to put music, don't put fast music. I have um a playlist which is slow music and it makes me feel so good and just calm.
Yeah. And it's basically like stop treating life like a checklist that you're literally running out of time to complete because I do that quite often. Nuha does
Mhm.
that. Loads of us do that. Except we're still so young. There's so much, to live for. There's
You're
so
still
much time
young.
left.
You're
It's
still
even if you're,
yeah.
50, baby,
Yeah.
you've got 50 more years. Chill
Yeah.
out.
You do. And please remember, not every moment has to be productive to be valuable. Just like sitting there, scrolling on your phone, or just like being alive is valuable for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, none of us really know what we're doing. And I feel
No,
like
we don't.
that's kind of the point.
Yeah, there's no guidebook to surviving life.
Hmm.
There's no rule book for anything. It's just how we go in life and what paths we take.
Yeah.
But yeah. Guys, thank you so much for listening. This episode was kind of short, but I hope you liked it. And before you leave, before you click out, do you have any drama? Do you have decisions that you might regret? Situationships that make absolutely zero to little sense, little to zero sense, sorry. Please tap the link in our bio and submit to you asked for this. We'll roast you, we'll give you advice, we'll tell you if you're wrong or right with love. And I know, you want more, don't you?
Relax. We've got you covered. Join us next time on Unlicensed and Unbothered. Consider this your new addiction. Bye, guys.
Bye.